A dramatic new fault line has opened inside the Ukraine peace negotiations, and it cuts right through the core of the talks. An official familiar with the discussions told AFP that territory remains the most problematic issue, with Moscow refusing any deal that does not include Ukrainian land. The official, speaking anonymously, said negotiators were now looking for any option that forces Ukraine to cede ground, a condition Kyiv has consistently rejected. The same official told AFP that the U.S. is pushing hard, faster, urging Kyiv to accept a deal before the window closes. But Ukraine insists it cannot agree to everything without fully examining the details. That pressure forms the backdrop for President Volodymyr Zelensky's urgent trip to London, where he will meet Britain's Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, as well as the leaders of France and Germany, to align the European response. The London meeting comes after 3 intense days in Florida, where Zelensky's chief negotiator, Rustem Umerov, pressed to revise a White House draft that many in Kyiv view as too accommodating to the Kremlin. The U.S. and Ukraine both claimed progress, but then came the jolt. President Donald Trump, speaking to reporters on Sunday, said he was a little disappointed that President Zelensky hasn't read the proposal yet. He was referring to the updated draft prepared in Miami by Umerov and Trump's close advisors, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner.
Mr. President, what's the next step in Russia-Ukraine talks? What's your next step in Russia-Ukraine talks after last week's negotiations?
So we've been speaking to President Putin, and we've been speaking to Ukrainian leaders, including Zelensky, President Zelensky. And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelensky hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago. His people love it, but he hasn't. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country when you think of it. But Russia is, I believe, fine with it, but I'm not sure that Zelensky's fine with it. His people love it, but he hasn't read it. So someday you'll explain that one to me, Jeff.
While Kyiv and Washington try to find a common script, Moscow is watching closely. Kremlin said the U.S.-Russia back channel involving Putin, Witkoff, and Kushner during their Moscow meetings laid the foundation for the latest draft now circulating between capitals. Russian presidential spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said talks must remain quiet, warning that handling these matters in public is unhelpful and does not lead to progress.
We don't precisely know the exact nature of the disagreements that exist. What truly matters to us is this: you are well aware that very thorough and comprehensive work was diligently done in Moscow during the crucial meeting between President Putin, Mr. Utkin, and Mr. Kushner. And subsequently Mr. Utkin and Mr. Kushner continued their important work, diligently working based on the significant results that had been successfully achieved in Moscow. And then they actively worked with the Ukrainian negotiating delegation, which was capably led by Mr. Umerov. Right now, it's important for us to understand what the actual outcomes of this work are. It's clear that both sides now understand more that this work needs to be done quietly. Such work cannot be conducted completely publicly. That's not constructive. And most importantly, it doesn't allow for results to be achieved. And that's why we expect to receive such information, and then things will become clear. There are always such concerns. We know that different administrations hold different points of view and approach foreign policy with different nuances. The kind of nuance we see in the new concept is without a doubt appealing to us. It thoroughly talks about the essential need for open dialogue and actively building constructive, mutually beneficial, and truly friendly relations. This cannot help but appeal to us. It absolutely aligns with our vision. and we profoundly understand that if those persistent and troublesome irritants that currently exist within the framework of our bilateral relations are effectively and completely removed, this could genuinely open up the promising prospect for us, so to speak, of truly and comprehensively restoring our entire relationship and successfully bringing it out of a rather deep and challenging crisis that it currently faces. But as for what will happen next with the following administration, it's unlikely that anyone here and now would venture to make any predictions. India, being and remaining a sovereign state, conducts foreign trade operations and purchases energy resources wherever it is beneficial for India. And as far as we understand, our Indian partners will continue this approach to securing their economic interests.
For European leaders, London is not just another summit. It is the moment to decide whether the West will accept territorial compromise or hold the line against it.